Hello everyone and welcome back to our cinnamon talking video. I think it's been a second since I've made a cinnamon talking video. I don't know. It's been a second since I've actually made videos in general. Of course, I just made a few videos now, so... probably the collector one's going to be uploaded first, but... So this one, what I'm going to be talking about today is just something I just want to talk about. More or less, I don't think some of the stuff that I'm going to mention is going to ever happen. Well, some of the stuff, which is going to honestly just be honorable mentions, because I could see those being more happening than any of this other stuff that is on my list. But let's go ahead, and so the topic is video games that I wish will happen, that will only happen in my dreams or my wildest fantasies, probably. I don't think they're ever gonna really happen. But probably, so like how I'm gonna kind of like list it off is I'm probably gonna, well, I'm gonna start off with the honorable mentioning stuff, because I think these will be like more of a higher chance that can maybe possibly happen. I don't know if they will happen, but I can see it happening more than some of the stuff I've mentioned or put on my list. I don't think they're really, like, some of the stuff I put on, like, I don't know if that will, it just kind of depends. So let's go ahead and get the honorable mention stuff out of the way. So, video game wise, it would be nice if it would be easier to access older video games. And maybe this is kind of like, I'm hoping some random person or company will find me and just like, oh, cool, let's just do it so we can take all the money from this person, because if you want to take all my money, you can. I'll be okay with it, because, again, I'm probably addicted to video games. It's probably not good, but yeah, just heads up, you could take my money. I wish it was a little bit easier to access older games, and just for the fact, like, it kind of sucks. Like, I'm just going to use these as an example. Of course, and this is why these are going to be honorable mentions, because it seems like this is happening a little bit more now. Like, for example, Chronicle is coming out soon, which, that was a game I was like, because someone recommended that to me when I was playing Chrono Trigger, and I was like, how the fuck am I going to play Chrono Cross? Because I think it's one of those games that's probably hard to find. I think it originally came out on PlayStation. I could be wrong, but I tried looking it up on Steam, and at the time it wasn't there. Now it's coming out. It's coming out on the Switch and Steam. So now I can easily get it. So it'd be nice if things just kind of keep going that direction. Like, it'd be, because, like, Skies of Arcadia, that's another game I really want to play. Like, I want to play it so badly. But people are, like, selling that game for, like, $100 or $200, and it hurts. I just want to play it. So it'd be nice, like, if my Switch can get, like, if they could do the virtual console thing. Of course, I know they had the Nintendo Switch Online thing, which you don't really own the game, you just play it when you can, which I'm thankful that you can play Earthbound now, so now I don't have to drop at least $100 on Earthbound. So, but it'd be nice if, like, just older games that are, like, hell, even not even popular games, like, even games that are kind of like lately I've been making a list too, like, of games that I want, and I'm probably just gonna, whenever I have free time, or, like, maybe if I ever finally catch up on my gaming collection. Actually, I basically made this list just in case if, like, oh, I can get it on this console, not just on GameCube, you know, but, like, I don't know, that might just be a Japanese game. I have some just Japanese games on here. Well, I feel like Resident Evil's kind of popular, but, Ribbit King, it's a game I wouldn't mind playing. It'd be nice if it was easy to access that. I don't know if that's, like, a popular game, but just, again, that's an example, so that's one thing off my list. Another thing, which it seems like is happening more often, or a whole lot easier, is, I feel like a lot of Japanese older titles or games that didn't originally come out, like, it's maybe even just other games in other countries, I'm not for sure. I just know a lot of the games I want happen to seem like they only been out in Japan and they didn't ever come out to the States. It would be cool if they could finally bring a lot of those over, which it seems like another thing that's happening, because I know they're coming out with that one. I had to look up what it is. It looks like it's made by the same... Is it made by the same? It kind of reminds me, the animation looks like Triangle Strategy, but let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, Live Alive. That was apparently only in Japan, so I think that's cool that that's coming over here. So, but I would love to play games like Gift Pia and Captain Rainbow, for example. Like, those are Nintendo titles, but they look really cool, and I think if they were to sell it to an audience now, I think they would be able to get a pretty good, decent audience. I would also like, but this one's probably like kind of a far stretch, but like there's a lot of older anime games that had never come out to the States, and at the time, I don't really blame them for not doing it at the time, because a lot of people probably really weren't that into anime unless it was Dragon Ball, Bleach, or Naruto, or whatever. But a lot of people are into anime now. Like, that's why there's like a lot of Boku no Hero, and there's even a ReZero game, and Sword Art Online, and Attack on Titan games, and they're finally coming out over here, so I think it's pretty tight. So it'd be cool if like for example, I really want to play the Black Cat video game. Apparently it was made by, I think, Capcom when I was looking it up, and that could somehow come over from there to here. Of course, that one, again, it's a far stretch. I don't really know. I feel like Gift Pia and maybe Captain Rainbow coming over here would be more probable than those games, like, because those are old anime titles, so they might be like, people won't be into those. So, but if it did happen, more or less, I would also like it just for the fact that, like, I think, I don't know, there might be a game that I'm not interested in, but someone else might be interested in. So I think I feel like a lot of older games at this rate, they might just get lost to the annals of history, or it's just, they're going to be so ridiculously expensive, it's just going to be hard to get a lot of these older games. And it'd be nice if there was just a library that's easy to access. And I mean, I'd be willing to spend, like, if you were like, oh yeah, this game's only like $5 or something like that, I'd, pay $5 or $10 or whatever. Because I know it'd probably, porting and all that stuff costs us a bit, but I know that was like one other thing. I feel like I had another honorable mention. Oh, I guess I know what it is. I guess certain remakes, which that's been happening, like, for example, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hoping they'll make a Dino Crisis remake game. I'm just saying, I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd play it if they were to, which, again, that's something that I think more likely to happen than any of the other stuff I'm about to mention. This other stuff is just more or less the stuff I'm about to mention after this honorable stuff. It's probably never going to happen. If it does, that'd be very impressive. But, and then, like, I feel like games that got canceled in the past, I think they should try and bring them out of there. Like, for example, Scalebound. If they actually came out with Scalebound, I probably would have gotten an Xbox just to get that game because it looked really cool. It looked like Devil May Cry in Final Fantasy, and Dragons had a child, and that was Scalebound, and that looked really cool. I would have played it. And then, of course, they have this new Prey game, but I know before that new Prey game came out, there was the original Prey, which I'm wanting to play it eventually. I know it's on Xbox 360, or we have it on Xbox 360. So I know I can borrow it. And then they were apparently going to come out with a Prey 2 game that was based off of that older Prey game. It looked really cool. It looked like you were like a bounty hunter in like a future dystopian thing. I took a picture of it on Twitter like a long time ago. I had to go find it again. But that would be Chronicle. Like, again, I'm just kind of using these as an example. And there's like tons. Since I really like Nintendo. And I really like Zelda and some other games. There's been a lot of cool games that they thought about doing. And they just never come out. And it'd be cool if they could come out with some of those that got canceled. Like honestly, I like that Final Fantasy is kind of like showing more attention to Final Fantasy VII. Of course, some people were like, "Oh, I wish they would show other attention on other games," but I know 7 was always that turning groundbreaking thing. So I actually don't really have an issue with it, but I like that they kind of making this remake. So I kind of wish they would make more stuff for Ocarina. I'm not gonna lie. Because I know, like, Ocarina was kind of the groundbreaking point of, Nintendo kind of did the same thing, but right now I think they're kind of doing that with Breath of the Wild because they're coming out that Breath of the Wild 2, which would be cool. I know I'd be down. I'm still gonna play it. I don't know what it's gonna be called. I know it's gonna be called Breath of the Wild 2, but I can't wait for that. So, alright, now time for stuff that I don't think will ever happen. And if it does, well, I'll be darned. They must have watched my video. I'm just kidding. So I don't know, this one might technically already exist. It's just I haven't really played Sea of Thieves yet, so maybe I do need to play Sea of Thieves first, and maybe I'll mix it in with it too, but it's kind of like two different genres, but it'd be nice if they make a good pirate game. It sounds mean. Like I said, I know Sea of Thieves exists, but I would like a game where you could be a pirate and they, graphically it would look amazing. Like, I thought they were supposed to make this one game, unless it's already out and it somehow slipped under radar. I remember they were gonna make a Cross and Skull game. I think it was made by the same people that do Ubisoft. I think it was going to be kind of using the Assassin's Creed ship stuff like in Black Flag, which if they did, that'd be kind of cool, but I kind of just wish they would make a good pirate game where you can customize and make yourself look cool and, collect the loot, or I don't know. Like, I feel like the only good-ish, like, Wind Waker's not really a pirate game, but I kind of like playing Wind Waker because I do kind of slightly like to feel like I'm a pirate because I'm on the seas, and I don't know, well, it's a pretty game too, and I don't know. And there are pirates in that game as well. And I do like Black Flag, but, like, I mean, I would like... I think a lot of these you're going to notice too kind of seem like custom made, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a big OC person. It may not look like it, but that's probably why I like Mass Effect. I've always enjoyed, making my own character and doing choices, and just, that's why I'm surprised I haven't completely played Dragon Age all the way. I just haven't done it. But, it'd be nice if, like, I don't really think there's any, and I'm surprised by that there's not that many good pirate. Of course, I mean, some of the stuff maybe I should just make on my own. Of course, some of these are under certain IPs, and I don't think it would ever happen. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll try and make a pirate game. I don't know. We'll see. And then another thing that shocked me, which I didn't add on the list, but me thinking about the pirate thing, but I actually think there are good vampire games. Like, they're coming out with the Vampire Masquerade 2, and that looks like it's going to be really cool. So, but I know when I was super young, when I was in high school, there we go, that's better. I remember, I felt like I could never find a vampire game. Like, I was like, it blew my mind that there was so many zombie games out there, right? Like, when the zombie craze was going, because everyone was so into zombies because of all these different zombie movies and zombie survival books. And I don't know if we're still going through a zombie phase. I feel like people still really like zombie games. and stuff like that. But there was like so many, like hell, even Yakuza got in on it, and have Yakuza Dead Souls and have zombies. So Yakuza has zombies. So like I feel like most games at some point had some kind of zombie mode. But I was like, so when people were going through their vampire phase, there wasn't really any good vampire video games. I kind of wish there was, like, but like I said, the vampire thing, I think I'm okay with. That's why I kind of didn't really, because I feel like that one's gonna get resolved pretty easy. Because, well, and also I am actually playing a good vampire game. I'm playing Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines, like the first one, and I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit. And apparently people still update and patch it all the time, so of course, at the time, I don't know how I missed that. I don't know when the game was originally made. I think it's been around forever, but I get, well, then again, I played console for a really long time. I don't think Vampire Masquerade was a console game, so maybe it was another reason. And also lived out in the country, so didn't have good internet. But moving on, more concerned about the pirate part than the vampire part, but that's just something I just wanted to mention. So those I feel like would be more likely to happen on my list out of anything. The next thing, a supernatural game, unless they have made one or making one and I just haven't paid attention. I actually meant to look that up. And I'm not talking like, ooh, supernaturally. I meant like actually based off the show Supernatural. Let's see. Oh, they have a role-playing? Shit. You could technically, if you were to make a supernatural game, it could be, you know, it could be horror. Or, I mean, there's Phasmophobia, and Phasmophobia, you don't get to hunt ghosts, but you get to kind of do some of the stuff. They have salt. They could, honestly, they could probably kind of set it up a little bit like Phasmophobia if they really wanted to. Like, you could be at, like, your base. I don't know, I guess it kind of depends on, like, I don't know if they would want to spin off and make their own story, which I think would be kind of cooler than actually follow, well, technically the whole series is done, so if they really wanted to make a video game where it follows the whole season 1 through season 15, they could do that easily if they just wanted to follow a linear path. But I think if they were to make it kind of, there's like a couple ideas for me for a supernatural game. Like maybe it could just even be in the same universe and you don't even get to play as Sam and Dean, and maybe you're just like a hunter and then you have like your own little hunter base. Seems like a lot of hunters in that universe, or at least big brain ones, they got like their own panic rooms and they're all sealed and protected, so that would be kind of cool. Like if that's where you kind of just start off as like you're in, like you have your own protection, because they have like seals. And I forgot, like I remember Bobby in Supernatural, he had like his own little panic room, and then eventually in the later seasons, I know Sam and Dean, if they had their own little area as well, in which it seemed like a house thing, but it was like, it was hidden, and then it was also like, it was protected. It had all the spells and metal and stuff where monsters won't normally come in unless they summon it or bring it in there because they captured it. But so I think they could honestly do that. And I mean, hell, they could, like, you could probably have a map and then have different mission points, and then you can have daily goals if you wanted to, and like like maybe hunt wraiths or hunt vampires or hunt, I don't really know if you need to hunt any gods. I know Supernatural gets pretty wild. I don't know if a lot of people on my show watch it. I just know I don't know if I look like it, but I actually like Supernatural quite a bit. Supernatural is like one of my favorite shows that I used to watch. It's over now. So I heard they were going to make a prequel. So I'm kind of like, well, they're still trying to make things for it. Why not make a video game? They should make a video game. That'd be so much cooler if they do it right. It'd be a little, well, they make, again, there's some good Batman games. And because I know they're owned by Warner Brothers, so they could make it spoopy and horror-y, and there's like tons of, I know they're like supernaturally like games, and I mean, shit, you make a supernatural game that's actually based off the show, it would probably a lot of people would be interested as long as you do it right. Like, and I mean, any of these ideas, as long as you do it right, I think these could be all good as long as you execute it right. So, just food for thought. And I could see maybe that happening. It's just, I don't know. At the same time, it's a show, so, but I mean, they've made, like, there's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer video game, so why not a supernatural one? And like I said, maybe you don't even have to play Sam and Dean. Maybe you just like, oh, I mean, they could be like Easter eggs or something, and they just mention it, and you can just be your own hunter. So that'd be one thing. I guess the next one I'll do is a Pokemon horror game, and I mentioned this on a tweet because, so I just finished, and this is probably where I got this idea from, was because of that Pokemon Direct, because I was watching that Pokemon Direct, and I was like, bro, that kind of seems spooky, but like, of course, I've seen other videos where they're like, oh, is it another Detective Pikachu game, which I could see where they're coming from with that, but just the way like the lights are blinking, and I was like, oh, what if they did make a horror Pokemon game? That'd be kind of cool, like, because I mean, some of the Pokedexes are creepy, like the Drifloon, like a Drifloon's kidnap kids or something like that, and then I don't know, I have to look at some of the other stuff, and then like some of the like, isn't Slugma, like, I think he's supposed to be so hot, he's like as hot as the sun or something like that. I think that'd be interesting. They technically have Pokemon Snap. I guess if they wanted to, if you wanted to take pictures of the ghosts to weaken them, you could do that. I don't know if that works with Pokemon, but most of the time you catch it and put it in a ball. But I think it'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting to see an adult Pokemon game, even if it's like not even a horror game. It's just like a lot of the Pokedexes are pretty crazy, and I don't know if they would want to do it as a mansion style or something else. I feel like that'd be the easiest way. And there are a couple ghosts. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. It's just a food for thought. And I don't think it's ever gonna happen, like a Pokemon horror game. Unless, I can see them, like, so I know, which Nintendo does it sometimes. They add, like, little spoopy atmospheres, but it's not really a horror game. So, but it'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see something like that if they were to do that. I'm not for sure which one to do next, because I literally think both of these are probably never gonna happen. If they do, that'd be so cool. I'll go ahead and do, I guess, the Sengoku boss run. I want I'm already getting blushy. I want a Sengoku Basara dating sim. I want one so badly. I don't even think it would probably come out to the States. If it does, that'd be kind of tight. But if they could just make one, because I've already, unless things changed, but I read one of the reviews that most people that actually play Sengoku Basara are girls. And, I would totally play a dating sim game if I can just date my favorite husbando. Me sorry. But anyhow, it would be cool. It'd be so cool if they actually made a Sengoku boss. I don't think it's gonna happen, or I mean, honestly, I think even if they were to kind of, Sengoku Basara is kind of like Samurai Warriors, and Samurai Warriors has Samurai Warriors Empires. I think if you could make, and like Samurai Warriors has been doing it for a while, Basara hasn't done it, but then again, it's done by Capcom and it's more about stylish stuff. I know in Samurai Warriors you can make your own character or make your own samurai, which I think is cool. It'd be cool if Basara could do that as well eventually at some point, and I think that'd be kind of neat if they added that as well. And I don't know, maybe you get to pick your clan that you want to be in and stuff. And I'm not just talking about if it was a dating sim, and like, I would honestly, if they could pull a Sakura War So Long My Love, or not just that game, I mean, I guess Sakura Wars in general, or the one that I played, which was So Long My Love, is it had the visual novel aspects, so you pick your choices and then you battled. and then you finish that chapter, and then you do your choices, and you actually walked around in the world too, and stuff, and then you went on like certain areas and dates, and then picked your choices, and then battle, and I thought that was really cool. So if they were to still, just do the hack and slash thing, again, this is something I don't think is ever going to happen. If it does, that'd be kind of cool. I know most people that are in the Bossor community, they tend to ship characters together, especially the rivals, like, God, what were their names again? Was it Mitsuyasa? I think that was one. I know it's like Mitsunari and Ieyasu, and then Masamune and Yukimura, which I think is probably the most one that gets shipped. And then there's Motochika. Most of the time it's the rivals that get shipped, but sometimes friendos get shipped too, like Motochika, Masamune, and so on and so forth. And honestly, I think they do some of that fan service on purpose, because I've heard some of their lines, especially from the movie. If you haven't seen the Singoko Bossor, The Last Party movie, and how Yukimura and Masamune talk, it's pretty spicy, I'm not gonna lie. Are you battling or are you doing something else? But anywho, besides that, I just wanted to get that off my chest. It'd be cool if that was made, because I would totally love to insert myself and just, play a dating visual novel game where I pretend to date some of my favorite characters. Because, I don't know, I always thought about that. Some of this stuff is probably stuff that I've thought about since forever, since high school. Another thing, I guess I forgot to add it on my list, but I don't think it would really happen either, but it would probably happen more than some of the other stuff I mentioned. But a Super Mario Sunshine sequel, I would be down. That would be so cool. Just saying. Because, there's other islands. Because there was a sea turtle island. And then there was a crab one, I think. And then Isle Delfina is obviously the dolphin one. But, I don't know. I would totally be down. Of course, honestly, I was hoping that they were going to make like a hardcore remaster of Sunshine. But they didn't. But I love Sunshine's my go-to game when I play during the summer most of the time, because it gives me the nice tropical vacation vibes. And then sometimes I play it during the winter too, because again, same reason, tropical vacation vibes while it's freezing outside. So, but yeah. And then the last but not least, and I don't think this one's gonna happen. If it does, that'd be pretty tight. But which I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate. I don't know how many people like MMOs, but I would so be down for a Zelda MMO. I think that'd be cool. Like, maybe, and then if it doesn't happen with MMO, just maybe the idea. But I think so. If it's a Zelda MMO, I don't think Link, Zelda, and Ganon. I just want it to be set in the Hyrule universe and stuff. I think that'd be cool. Timeline wise, where I thought that it should fall in the timeline, I think the easiest one, unless there's like a better area or timeline that you could put it in, would be probably the Downfall one. And I've had to look at my Hyrule story again, but there was like a war for the Triforce for a really long time, and it's kind of like, I guess in a way it's kind of going down, because I know Kingdom Hearts kind of did something like that with a mobile game, but I would not want this to be a mobile game. If it becomes a mobile game, I will be sad. But I think it would be cool just for the fact that, like, there's a bunch of different races. Like, just pull a Final Fantasy. Or, I've never played World of Warcraft or some of those other MMOs, but I have played Final Fantasy and I enjoy Final Fantasy. So I'll probably just keep sticking with that. But if they made a Zelda MMO, you could be a Hylian, which probably could be like, like your human race in a way. Actually, well, in Twilight Princess, there was Ordons, and they literally look like humans. They didn't look like they have ears. So maybe if you wanted to, I don't know, add humans. I don't know. The Ordanians really came in, and I think that's in a different timeline too. But like Hylenians, Chicas, I think you should be able to be Azora. My brain's blanking, I guess. I had this all down earlier, but now I don't. Let's see. Zora's, I think being a Goron should be cool. Gerudos. And, like, I feel like some of those, because, and, like, for example, Gerudos, I feel like that should be just specifically a female race for that, for example. And, like, for a bit, unless they want to add males, it's just, like, I know normally that wouldn't really fit the plot, because most of the time, if you know anything about the Gerudos, they're kind of like Amazons. It's mainly a female race, except for, like, every 100 years, there's a male that's born, and most of the time, that's Ganon, so I don't think it would work out too well with that, but for a little bit for Final Fantasy, like, the bunnies were, like, they only had the females, because the females were more common than the males, so, like, I feel like that could fit, wise. And then, and the Rotos, like, the bird people. So, like, I feel like, so you have, like, a good lineup of races, and then I guess if they wanted to pull the DLC route, they could always add that later. And I was thinking, like, if they wanted to do DLC and, like, add more things, like, for example, like, what if you wanted to add the Minish Village? I feel like that would be kind of like, you can't, I was thinking about, like, what if you could be a Minish, but I don't think that would work out too well, because they're so tiny. So I feel like that would be kind of hard, unless you grow them big or something. But I would kind of want to see everything kind of small in their eyes, like, if they were to have a tiny village, and then you could shrink, and then the village is massive, and then you have, like, a raid boss or something. I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool, just in general ways. But I think, like, maybe it's, like, a battle for because at the point, like, I think, again, I have to look at my Hyrule Historia. Of course, I don't know. A lot of people were saying the Hyrule Historia is probably not accurate anymore, so they probably gotta update that. But at the time, during, like, the war, when they're fighting for the Triforce, they could do something like that, or I don't know, just have quests. I feel like it could work, if they do it right. I know Nintendo isn't, like, they have issues with their Nintendo Online stuff, so I don't know how well that would work out, but I think if they were to try and pull it off kind of like Final Fantasy, I think it would be pretty cool. I think it would be pretty, I mean, there's Genshin Impact too, so, but I don't think Genshin Impact is an MMO. I don't know. I haven't played enough of it, but, I think it'd be cool, and just to keep, like, the cooking aspects and all the other stuff in it, and I think that it'd be fun, and it's just something I've always fantasized. Like, I'd be like, oh, it would totally be like this. Of course, I go more into thought with it. I'm kind of like, oh, I want to be half Hyleni and half Sheikah, but I don't think that would work out. Like, so it would have to just be that one race. I think Valhalla Knights kind of spoiled me with that, where I was like half elf and half human, but I mean, I didn't really get to choose to be half elf. It made me half elf because my dad is human, but anywho. So, but I just think it'd be cool. So, like, I don't think there should be, like, any master swords or anything like that, like, because, well, I don't know, in Final Fantasy they have, like, a bunch of the regalias running around, so maybe it could be a perk if you do something, but, like, I feel like seeing a bunch of master swords around would be kind of weird. But I think just to make it easier wise, just don't have, well, there's technically, I think, always gonna be a Zelda, because I think they named each Zelda, or each Princess Zelda afterwards, or that seems like the theme. So I don't know, but I just think easier sake, just don't even worry about Link and Zelda and Ganon, and just kind of have it going during that time frame when everything's at war, so it kind of makes it a reason for, like, why people are doing quests or trying to make names for themselves. I could see that. That could be kind of cool. So, Nintendo, you can take it. Again, like I said, I don't think more or less this is just a wish list fantasy thing that I just kind of wanted off of my brain, and I think it would be kind of cool if these ideas, if this existed. I don't a lot of the stuff that after the honorable mention stuff, because I feel like the honorable stuff can more they were kind of vague too, worse. But yeah, I don't know, can't really think of anything else. So again, if you like the video, cool beans. And again, just please let me know how you feel about everything at the bottom of the comments. Like if there is any games that you're like, oh, I wish this would exist, because I would just like to know, because then I could be like, oh yeah, that's such a cool idea, or like, oh, I never really thought about that, or oh, you're into that and you wish that could be I get you, I see where you're coming from. So yeah, I would just like to see where that would go, and I guess see y'all later, and have a good rest of y'all's day.